Today we are making gluten-free scallion pancakes. I was able to find the best way to make these and enjoy them. They're a popular dim sum, or they can be enjoyed for the Lunar New Year. To find out how I achieve this, then please keep watching for this recipe. The ingredients you'll need for this recipe are 2 cups of gluten-free flour. I am trying the King Arthur blend, 1 cup of warm water, some sesame oil, salt, a bunch of scallions, and some oil. To prepare this dish, I'm going to start by chopping the scallions. I make sure to chop them as evenly as I can, all the way down to the end to keep the colors the same, because what I'm going to do is split them and keep the darker green part, which is the part we're going to be using, and then I'm going to reserve the lighter green portion to use later. To start the dough, just add the flour to a mixing bowl, and then I take the warm water and just pour it right in. I'm going to be using a wooden spoon to stir everything. I don't know if it makes a difference. My mom assures me that a wooden spoon makes all the difference in the world. In the bowl, I'll just continue to stir the dough until it starts to come together, and then I'll switch to my hands and make sure to press everything together until it's nice and smooth before turning it out onto my counter to continue pressing until it's smooth. Once the dough starts to feel nice and smooth, I just work it into a loaf and cut it out into smaller portions because I don't want this to dry out. So I'll cover the rest with a moist towel and work with a little bit at a time. So here I'm just flattening out a piece, and I'm going to actually take a rolling pin so I get a nice even layer all the way across. This is my first time using a rolling pin in this way. I've never been a baker, so no judgment. I'm just starting to learn the process through gluten-free baking. Once we have a nice even surface, I just sprinkle on the sesame oil and brush it around into a nice even layer. With the oil distributed evenly, I will then take the dark green scallion parts and sprinkle it right over the dough, and then also season it with a little bit of salt. This part was a little difficult. It was sticking. I didn't want to add more flour because I didn't know what that would do. So I'm just using my knife because my bench scraper is broken. I have to get a new one. But basically I just peel the layers and do the Paul Hollywood envelope folding method, and I just fold the layers over and I'll roll it out again with the rolling pin. During this part I started to panic because as you can see, the dough is sticking to the rolling pin. For some reason the layers were coming apart wherever I had spread the sesame oil, but with a little more push, you can get it to stick together just fine. And once everything is rolled out even again, I was cutting layers with a biscuit cutter, and this is about a 3.5 inch one. When your dough is fully prepared in the little rounds, you can start to pan saute, and I simply started a skillet on medium-high heat with about a tablespoon of oil and cook them on each side for about 2 to 3 minutes. This gluten-free flour, the edges or the sides didn't get very golden brown. And I wonder if it's because this tabletop burner that I was using. So I actually switched to my stovetop burner and they started to brown nicely. I also experimented a little bit with it and flattened some of the rounds. I do not recommend that you do this because once everything was cooked, they were really difficult to eat. I mean, they were really hard. So I would recommend just leaving them in the little biscuit-sized circles because it was perfect that way. But here you can see I'm at my stovetop, like I said, frying them, and they're getting nice and brown. This dish is typically served with a dumpling sauce, so I'm going to make a gluten-free dumpling sauce. And to make that, you just need about a tablespoon of soy sauce. I'm using my trusty Golden Mountain gluten-free soy sauce. My husband thinks this tastes like Maggie, so I'm really glad that he said that. I also use this white balsamic ginger flavored vinegar, which is amazing. Just a tablespoon of that and about a teaspoon of sesame oil and also a teaspoon of sugar. Just mix that all together until the sugars dissolve, and there is a very simple and tasty dumpling sauce that you can serve with these scallion pancakes. I really enjoyed this dish. The scallion pancakes had a very subtle scallion and sesame flavor. It wasn't very overpowering, but it was definitely there. And paired with this dumpling sauce, it was so good. It reminded me of the times that I could eat dumplings, and I feel like I'm getting closer to finding things that work for me. This could be a great addition to the upcoming Lunar New Year. If you have someone who cannot have gluten, this would be perfect for them. I hope you give this a try. Please let me know how yours turns out if you do. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more gluten-free recipes. Thank you for watching.